only me again, bringing you, as promised, another video to help you think about what you might want to achieve in 2018. We've got 4 more days until the new year. In 4 days' time, it will be 2018. It's coming round fast. So, did you take my advice from yesterday's video and take a little bit of time to think about what you had achieved in 2017? Did you reflect back on any goals that you'd set yourself? Maybe you realised you didn't actually set yourself any goals, and maybe that's why you aren't where you thought you would be, or perhaps wanted to be by this point in the year. There's a misconception about the difference between goals and New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions tend to be things, yes, we want to achieve this throughout the year, and that by the end of the year we will be at this certain point. But because it is a whole year, because it's so long, and because our New Year's resolutions aren't necessarily specific enough, we need to turn them into goals, really. Goals are specific and they're measurable, and they're things that we can realistically achieve because we have a plan of how to achieve them. Whereas New Year's resolutions tend to be much more vague. Get fit, lose weight, okay, but they're not quite specific enough. Whereas goals are much more specific. I'm going to lose X amount of weight. I am going to get fit and be able to run a marathon by the end of the year, and then figure out a plan of how to achieve that by the end of the year. So again, they're much more specific. Now, I promised you an exercise today, and I hope I won't disappoint with doing my annual Wheel of Life exercise. You may have seen this before. I do it every year. In fact, I do it every 3 months. I check in with my Wheel of Life to see how it's going. Am I concentrating on the right areas? Am I doing what needs to be done? Do I have a plan? Do I have a specific measurable goal and a plan of how to achieve it? It's very easy otherwise to just get off track, get preoccupied, procrastinate, and then we get to this point in the year where we think, hang on a minute, I'm not quite sure where I am. Why am I not where I wanted to be? Why have I not succeeded in doing what I wanted to succeed? If we do this wheel of exercise at least once a year, and like I say, I do it every 3 months, it will help us stay on track, keep those goals focused. Make it specific, make it measurable, get a plan of how we're going to achieve that goal. So the Wheel of Life, as implied, is a wheel made up of 8 different segments. And these segments each represent a different aspect of our life. So you can download this Wheel of Life, a template of this, if you click on the link below, okay, rather than necessarily having to draw it out yourself. So I'm going to start at the top right segment, and I'm going to work my way round. So the first segment is the finance segment. Finance segment. Pretty important because it influences all of the other segments generally that are in our wheel. The second segment is what I call personal development. Personal development. Can't quite fit that all in. I apologise as always for my handwriting. The third segment is health and fitness. Health and fitness. Fourth segment, family and friends. Family and friends. Fifth segment is what I call significant relationship. Relation. Now, some Wheel of Life people will say that this is your romantic relationship. But not all of us are in a romantic relationship. Not all of us want a romantic relationship. That's why I've said significant relationship. So it may be that you have a particularly best friend that you are close to. They're kind of slightly different from your general friends. It might be that actually your most significant relationship is with a pet that you live with. The closeness that you feel. Some people may think that that's ridiculous, but I don't. I'm an owner of 4 cats. I understand the bond that you can have with your pets. So again, significant relationship. Your most significant relationship is whatever you define it as. Don't feel that that has to be a romantic relationship. When I had my clutter challenge, I know that this was very empty. When I changed it to calling it significant relationship, my most significant relationship, my closest bond was actually with my pet cat. And suddenly I realised that, this segment of my life isn't empty. It's, I do have a significant relationship. It doesn't matter what other people think about my interpretation of that. The 6th segment is leisure and hobbies. Can't write at an angle. So that's what you do in your spare time. The 7th segment, this is the one that most people associate with their clutter challenge, and this is physical environment. Environment, can't quite fit that all in. And then the 8th and final segment is related to career and work, but I fully appreciate that you may not have a work routine, a 9-to-5 job. You may not have a career. It may be that you're retired. So it may be that this segment is actually volunteering for you, things that you do for others. So I'll put work / volunteering. Volunteering. And it may also be community, things that you do in your community. Doesn't have to be the traditional job section. Okay, so we've got 8 sectors there. Let me just go through them again. So we've got finance, which is your money, your income. Personal development, that may be a course that you're taking in order to learn a new skill. It may be counselling that you're having to deal with some issues or challenges that you've had in your life. Health and fitness, relatively self-explanatory. Family and friends. Remember, just because you may not have blood relatives that are family in your life, it may be that you have friends that you consider family. Again, this interpretation is up to you. Significant relationship, the person or animal perhaps that you feel the closest bond and connection with. Leisure and hobbies, what you do in your spare time. Physical environment, this tends to be the section that people most relate to clutter. And work, voluntary community activities that you are involved in. Okay, so we've defined our 8 sectors of our wheel of life. Now you will notice that on the example there are 10 indicators for each sector. And all we're going to do is we're going to take each sector and decide on a scale of 0 to 10, where am I in terms of that particular aspect of my life? So if 0 is it's not good at all, or 0 would be non-existent, and 10 would be it's amazing, couldn't be any better, I'm really happy with it, there's no way I could improve this aspect of my life. Let's just define the center here of the line as that 0, and then this outer line is 10 on that scale. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being non-existent, with 10 being amazing, couldn't be any better, let's just decide where we are in that sector for that aspect of our lives. So I shall do this as an example. So if I take, let's do this in orange. So the finance sector of my life could be better. Had a few challenges over the last few months. My husband has been diagnosed with a problem with his hand, which means that he's not able to work like he used to. So our finances have definitely been put under pressure, under strain. So I'm going to put that at about a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my finance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sector is at a 5 on my wheel. Here we go. Okay. Personal development. How do I feel the personal development aspect of my life is going? Well, I enjoy my personal development reading that I do every week. I would like to take a course, do the training to be a therapist so that I can help my hoarders rather than them having to get and find a therapist elsewhere. But I do feel my personal development is on in a good place. Could be better. As with many of us, we're perfectionists, and so we're never going to give ourselves a 10. So I'd say gut feeling 7. So 5, 6, 7. So room, is that 7? That's 7. So room for improvement, but doing pretty good. There we go. Health and fitness. My health and fitness is pretty good at the moment. I've worked hard this year. I worked hard last year on it. I've lost 7.5 stone in 2 years. Still got a bit to lose. Lost a bit of fitness over Christmas, if I'll be honest. My mother-in-law was up at the beginning of December. That disrupted our routine a bit. Then we've had Christmas. I'm going to put that at about an 8 on my wheel. There we go. Family and friends. I've spent quite a lot of time with mother-in-law this year. I have spent some time with friends. Again, there's still room for improvement. There are friends I don't see regularly that I would like to. I am in contact with them, but I don't see them as regularly. I'm going to go with a 5 on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So that could definitely do with a little bit of work. Significant relationship, my husband. Yeah, that's pretty good. Again, could always do with improvement. We probably don't spend enough time just going out and having fun. So I'll put that at an 8, I think. Don't tell him. Well, I'd be interested to know what he puts. Okay, so that's at an 8. Leisure and hobbies. I've spent more time this year doing my hobby of working in the garden. I feel like I need a bit of a hobby for the winter months where I'm not in the garden. So definitely better than last year. But again, could do with some improvement. Gut feeling says 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That could do with some improvement. Of course, this is a perfectionist in me as well, which isn't helping. Physical environment. Still want to decorate. Haven't got round to decorating this year. I'm going to put that as a 3. Gut feeling says it's the 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And my work. I love my work. I really enjoy it. I'm going to put that as a 9. So that's a 9. That goes up there. Okay. So, on your wheel, if you haven't already while I've been doing it, go around and with your gut feeling, don't think about it too much. We can overthink things. Just what springs into your head when you think about how is my life in relation to the 8 different segments of your life, and just do exactly what I've done and put it wherever feels right. Okay, so what do you notice about your wheel of life? You may have some sectors like mine which are way out and some which are closer in. Now I want you to imagine, if you've done this on paper you can actually do it. I want you to imagine that you're cutting out this wheel on the outermost parts of that wheel. And then if you were to put a pin in the middle and turn it, what do you notice? Does it turn smoothly? Does it turn bumpily? I don't know if that's a word. But what do you notice about how your wheel turns? Do you, like me, have a sector which is nicely out on the scale, and then the next one which is very low down on the scale? That's going to be a very bumpy bit, isn't it? Turning from there to there. So maybe you, like me, have got some sectors that need a little bit of attention. So which segment on your wheel of life do you think needs the most attention? That's simply whichever segment is actually lowest on that scale of 0 to 10. Well, this is a surprise for me actually. My segment that needs the most attention is my physical environment. Not because of the clutter, but because of the decorating that hasn't been done. Decorating that's needed doing since Easter 2016. We had some building work done. So we still have plastered walls which haven't yet been painted or decorated. Have a look at your wheel. So we've identified perhaps which sector needs the most attention, but pick the next 2 segments that need attention, so that we have 3 segments on your wheel that need the most attention. So for mine is the finances and the family and friends. So those are the 3 segments that need the most attention. Now I want you to have a look at your wheel and see which segment has actually got the highest on the scale. Now mine is the work, which is good. That's good. The work will help definitely with the finances. Now that's an interesting thing, because what you will probably find is that the sectors that need the attention may be ones that are interconnected. Let me illustrate that with an example. So for example, my 3 segments that need the attention is the physical environment, the finances, and the family and friends. Now I know instantly that actually the physical environment, the decorating in my house that needs doing, if I do the decorating, and if I can move that up a little bit on my scale, 1, 2, 3. So if I could get my physical environment up to there, I know that that would improve the family and friends, because I would feel comfortable inviting people around for dinner. Have a dinner party. I used to love having dinner parties. Haven't done dinner parties for years. So that would probably improve this segment a bit, which would then mean that that is turning a little smoother. So my physical environment impacts on my family and friends section as well. It would probably also impact on my leisure and hobbies, Because in a way, even though I haven't done the decorating, my husband and I haven't done the decorating, we perhaps haven't spent as much time doing that leisure and hobbies that we normally would, because we've had that thing of feeling that I should be doing decorating, and then feeling exhausted and not necessarily doing the decorating because of what's involved. Very similar to when we have a clutter challenge. Who feels that their clutter zaps their energy? Yes. It's exactly the same. See what's going on with me? It's the same. Former Clutterholic, it's a pattern that I have. I also know that if my husband and I can sort out this problem that's been created because of his hand diagnosis, if we could get those finances a little bit more steady, secure, then that would impact, because he would feel more inclined to work on our physical environment, to do the decorating, and then build our relationships, our friendships stronger by inviting people round more, which would probably then make him feel better for doing more work that he can do. So again, each of the sectors are not exclusive of each other. They are kind of interconnected. Now, the segments that are interconnected for you may be completely different to the segments that are interconnected for me. I obviously know what's been going on in our lives this year, so I can see the connections. This helps me understand what's been going on. But more importantly, it helps me prioritise those segments that need some work and some attention in 2018. So, in terms of identifying your 3 segments that could do with some attention, hopefully you've now identified those. And now I just want you to think about what at a practical level can you do in each of those 3 segments to make a difference, to improve it. So like I've said, family and friends, that would actually be very simple. I'm not talking big parties here. I'm just talking having friends round for dinner. Friends for dinner. Around our dining room table. Now, this time last year, we didn't actually have a dining room table. If you did see the Wheel of Life video last year, you'll know my physical environment was about it was decorating, but it was also having a table and chairs to be able to entertain. We do now have a dining room table and chairs. So again, this is not going to be as much hard work as it would have been this time last year. The physical environment, what's the specific thing that I can do to improve the physical environment by this time next year? Well, that would be to decorate. Decorate. But again, that is a big task. We have a 3-bedroomed house. There are lots of rooms that need decorating. There's a lot that needs doing in each one. So I'm actually going to break that down into a smaller goal. Remember, goals are specific, they're measurable, and they have a plan. So I'm going to say that I'm going to do the lounge by Easter. Our dining room, I'm going to say we'll do that by the summer. The bedroom, going to do that by my birthday. No, not birthday, anniversary at the end of October. End of October. And then we've got the hallway. Hall, stairs and landing. And let's do that by next Christmas. So do you see how I've broken that task, that goal, that big goal? I've broken it down into smaller goals to achieve. So all I need to do between now and Easter is focus on, right, the lounge. That's what we're decorating between now and Easter, the lounge. Just focus on that, then I can move on to the dining room for the summer. Much like with our clutter clearing, we take one room or area at a time. Yes, by this time next Christmas, I will have decorated everything that needs decorating. But that's all a bit too much and a bit overwhelming. So I've broken it down into the different rooms. It may well be that actually the lounge is decorated before Easter. Fantastic. But I would rather underestimate what can be achieved and over-deliver than overestimate and under-deliver. Because if I haven't cleared the lounge, if I haven't decorated the lounge by Easter, I'm going to be really disappointed. I'm going to be really demotivated. I'm not going to want to carry on because I'm going to feel like a failure because I am a perfectionist. Who knows what life could get in the way between now and Easter. That may seem like a lot of time to decorate the lounge when actually, if I dedicated a whole week to it, I could probably get it done in a week. But again, my life is not such that I can take a week off to decorate the lounge. I'm going to have to do this at weekends. I'm going to have to do this with the help of my husband as well. And again, who knows what life might get in the way. And I don't want to be spending every weekend between now and Easter doing the decorating. I want to do some of my leisure and hobby activities as well. So do you see how we're making it, practical? Realistic and an achievable goal. In terms of the finances, that's unfortunately down to my husband, and he needs to find basically he needs to adapt his job, and I can help him with that. Being a coach, probably better if he gets independent help and advice though. Always a challenge working with your partner. So that's my husband who needs to adapt his job rather than me. That change, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's half full because my finances are fine, but my husband's are a bit of a challenge at the moment. I know we do see it as ours, but again, that's, if you like, a task for him to focus on. So do you see how thinking about how our life is now and identifying the sectors of our wheel that need a little bit of attention so that it can be turning more smoothly, we can make sure we're focusing our time and energy on the things that are really going to make the biggest difference next year. It may well be, for example, that clearing your clutter, you've always said, yeah, I want to clear my clutter this year. But because you haven't actually broken it down into specifics, because it's been sort of an open-ended goal, because it hasn't been specific enough, and because perhaps you didn't realise that, hang on, this is the lowest segment of my wheel, maybe you hadn't necessarily realised how significant it was and what a difference it could make. Because just like me, I know my physical environment will also improve my family and friends segment, as will the finances. They are interlinked. Now, it's great to identify the things that are going to improve the segments that are perhaps a little bit low. But the trick is going to be maintaining those segments that are actually good. Because the last thing we want to do is to improve one segment at the expense of another. So what I want you to do now is to think about those segments that are going well, that are in a good place, and think, what do I need to keep doing to keep those segments where they are? Because the last thing we want to do is to check in with our wheel of life in 3 months' time and find, yes, great, the physical environment, the finance, and the family and friends have improved, but hang on a minute, the other ones have gone down. So all we've done is reverse the situation. The situation hasn't changed. It's just it's different aspects of our lives. So for example, with me, with my personal development, what do I need to keep doing to make sure that I don't slip down that scale? I need to keep my weekly counselling. weekly therapy. And I also have weekly, I do TRE weekly. Trauma, I think it's trauma release exercise. It's just TRE. So I need to keep doing my weekly therapy and my weekly TRE, because that's all part of my personal development. Understanding myself, dealing with stress and challenges as they come up, and keeping that momentum and accountability going. My health and fitness, how can I make sure that that stays where it is? Well, what I need to do is I need to keep going to the gym. Going to the gym. And I need to keep going with my eating plan. And by doing those two things, I know that I will continue to lose weight. How will I know that I'm achieving this goal? Because I'll see that on the scales. I will be eating the right things in my food tracker app, and I will be going to the gym at least twice a week. So again, that's what I've been doing. That's why that segment is where it is. I need to keep doing those things in order to keep that there. What else have we got? Significant relationship. What do I need to do in order to keep that at number 8? I know it's a cliche, but I need to keep communicating and sharing with my husband. So keep sharing and spending time. Time is so important, isn't it, in a relationship, any significant relationship. When my significant relationship was with my cat, I spent time with her. She was a very good de-stressor. Just stroking her was very good for keeping me calm. Leisure and hobbies. What do I need to keep doing to make sure that that doesn't slip down as I'm trying to increase my physical environment segment? Well, I need to keep gardening. Spring's just round the corner, even though there's a bit of snow left on the ground, and I need to keep making time. And like I said earlier, I think I probably need to find a winter hobby. Winter hobby. My husband and I have been out walking. We've done country walks over the last few days, which have been really nice. But again, I need something that doesn't necessarily take such a chunk of time, something that I could do in an hour or two probably. And then finally, for the work sector for me, what do I need to keep doing? Keep doing what I enjoy. So keep clutter clearing going. Clutter clearing. Good. So if you think about the sectors on your wheel of life that are doing okay, just make a note of what you need to keep doing. Because then we will literally have like a to-do list for each of the sectors of our wheel of life to make sure that we are getting to a point where it turns a lot more smoothly. So, for example, finances here, my husband needs to adapt his job, and that will improve. Personal development, I need to keep the weekly therapy and TRE sessions going. The health and fitness, I need to keep going to the gym, doing my eating plan, losing weight. Family and friends, I need to start having friends round for dinner. And I probably need to keep in contact, keep communication. Significant relationships, I need to keep sharing with my husband and spending time with him. Leisure and hobbies, I need to keep doing the gardening and making time to do that and find a winter hobby. Physical environment, I need to decorate. I'm going to decorate the lounge by Easter. You can keep me accountable to that. The dining room by the summer, the bedroom by the end of October, and the haul by this time Christmas next year. And for my work, I need to keep clutter clearing. Whew! May feel a little overwhelming. There's 8 things there. We know that 7 is our sweet spot, more than 7 things, and we can go into overwhelm. However, just bear in mind that some of these things you are keeping doing what you're already doing. But it's just nice to acknowledge, hey, actually, you know what? I'm already going to the gym. I'm already following my eating plan. I'm already losing weight. So actually, that's not going to take a lot of time and energy to keep doing that. In fact, I'm going to the gym after I've recorded this video. I've missed it over the last couple of weeks. So that's your wheel of life. And like I say, the aim is to give ourselves a few goals and identify the bits that are going to matter. What is going to make the biggest difference? What's going to make the biggest difference to our lives in 2018, what are priority things to do, are the things that relate to the segments that are lowest on the scale. And it can very often be segments of our life that we didn't realise needed a bit of attention. But that may explain why in 2017, perhaps we haven't done what we wanted to do, or we haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve by this time in the year, because actually we were focusing on segments of our wheel that weren't actually priority and didn't need as much attention as we gave them. Good. I hope that has helped in terms of identifying what is going to be a priority for you in 2018. Tomorrow, I am going to share with you the secrets of success. Because did you know that in America, only 9%, and in the UK, only 12% of people actually succeed at achieving their goals? Well, we've identified what goals we want and need to achieve next year. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you the secrets of how to do that. But in the meantime, thank you for watching and enjoy working on your wheel of life. I shall see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.